Welcome to another crochet tutorial with Cosy Rosie UK. Today we're making a 3 to 6 month old all meshed up headband. This pattern is available in all different sizes from 3 to 6 months all the way up to a large adult. For those of you that are blessed with a nice full head of hair, needing that extra width, there is that size available for you as well. All the different sizes are available via my Etsy shop. I'll pop a link below for you. I'm looking forward to showing you how to do this offset mesh, which looks more complicated than it is, I assure you, but it really does a great effect as well. So the materials that we're going to be using today is actually this Paintbox Yarn, which is a double knit cotton. It's 100% cotton and it's really very, very soft. The recommended hook size for this is a 4mm. The original headband that I made was actually in this James Seabrett Glisten cotton, which has this lovely little shimmer through it as well. So it's entirely up to you what cotton you use. Just try and make it a nice soft one, because obviously it's going to be on your head and we don't want to damage our lovely hair. The other materials you are going to need is a 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors so we can snip our ends, and of course a darning needle so we can weave in those ends as well. So today we're going to be making a size 3 to 6 month headband. So we're going to start by making a slip knot. We're just going to pop that onto our hook. There we go. So we start by chaining 57. Just yarn over the hook and bring it through 57 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 56 and 57. So we've got our lovely long chain there. And what we're actually going to be doing is working into this third bump. So normally we would go under the top of the chain, but instead we're going to be working into these bumps all the way along this chain, and that'll give us a really nice edge on our pattern as well. So now that we've made our chain of 57, what we're going to be doing is starting our bottom row. So normally when we're working into our chain, we'd go under this first loop of the chain, but actually what we're going to do today is work into the back loop of our chain all the way along. So we've got our chain 1 here, which is that first bump, which corresponds with the front, and we're looking to work into the 5th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's number 5. We're going to do a treble into that 5th chain from the hook. So yarn over, just insert your hook into that back bump, as it's sometimes referred to. We're going to yarn over to draw a loop up. That gives us those 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're then going to chain 1. And that chain 1 is going to allow us to skip that next chain. If you're not sure of where these back bumps are, if you look at the front, you can see your chains. So we're skipping 1 and working into the next one, and there's that back bump. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next bump of the chain, she says. Give it a wiggle, it will go through. There we go. We're going to yarn over to bring a loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2. If you're finding that very challenging, you can just work into the top loop, but this will give you a nicer edge all the way along. Once we've finished that treble, we're just going to chain 1 to allow us to skip the next chain. So we're not going to work into that one, we're going to work into this one here. Again, just pop your hook through that back bump of the chain. Mine is proving very elusive this evening. There we go. Going to yarn over, bring that 3rd loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2, and each time we're doing that, we're creating this lovely little chain space, which is going to help us create that netted look. We've completed that treble, so we chain 1 to allow us to skip the next chain. So we're not working into this one, we're working into that one there. trying to encourage this on a little bit so I look like I know what I'm doing. No, it's not happening today. There we go. Yarn over, bring that loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 1. We're going to skip that next chain and work into that next bump there. Yarn over to bring that loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we're going to continue to work all the way down our chain until we reach the end, and I will meet you back here when we've completed all of these. So I've just finished my last treble and it's asked me not to do a chain 1 at the end. So what we should have here for a 3 to 6 month is we should have a total of 27 chain spaces. So what we're then going to do is we're going to turn our work and chain 3. I chain first, just the way I am. So I'm going to chain 3 and turn. And what we're actually going to do is to work into these chain spaces. So we're going to yarn over and go straight into that chain space there. Yarn over to bring the yarn back up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then chain 1 to work across here. And we're going to work into that next chain space. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, bring your loop up, pull through 2, and chain 1. Yarn over, working into that next chain space, yarn over to bring that loop up, pull through 2 and pull through 2, chain 1. We're going to keep doing that all the way down, working into each chain space we've created. Literally just bringing the yarn back around our chain space. So yarn over, insert the hook, bring the loop back up, pull through 2, and chain 1 to create the chain space on the next row. So insert your hook, bring a loop up, pull through 2, and just remember to chain 1. I will meet you at the end of this row. I've reached the end of this row here. I've still got one more to do. I've done one final treble into this last chain space and a chain 1. To finish this row, I need to work into the third chain from the original foundation chain that we made. So I've got 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to yarn over, so we do one final treble into this third chain, yarn over, pull through 2, and as you can see, we've got lots of offset mesh that we've created here, which is looking rather nice. So we're going into row 3, which is a repeat literally of row 2. So we're going to do our chain 3 and turn, and once again we're just going to yarn over and treble into that first chain space. Going to chain 1 to move across and then work into that next chain space. So yarn over, insert the hook, bring that loop up, pull through 2, and then chain 1. And then yarn over to work into the next chain space. Pull through 2, and chain 1. Again, we're going to do that all the way along this row to give our third and final row of offset mesh in this size. For the larger sizes, I would do 4 rows in total of offset mesh, just to give us a bit more width along our head as well. Right, I will meet you at the end. Once again, at the end of row 3, we're just going to treble into that third chain that we made at the beginning of row 2. So there we've got our completed mesh. So what we're not going to do is we're not going to turn our work this time. We're actually going to start working down the side of our headband to create the side panels. So this is row 4 that we're going into. We haven't turned. The first thing we're going to do is do a chain 1, and then we're going to actually work back into this stitch. So exactly where we chained, we're just going to do a double crochet underneath here. So we're going to insert our hook underneath the top of our last treble, straight through like that. We're going to yarn over to bring one loop up, and we're just going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, well, into each part of this row. So we should have a total stitch count of 7 at the end of this. So we've done number 1. Number 2 is going to be in this stitch here. So try and capture 2 parts of the stitch to keep it nice and secure. Yarn over, bring your hook back through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to work into that row here. So we insert our hook. Oh, missed it. In there, you see that hole? Into that hole there. Bring a loop up and pull through 2. We need to go into the middle of this row here again. Just kind of might have to push it through because your stitch might be probably not as tight as mine, to be fair. There we go, we're in. Pull that back through and then pull through 2. Then into the top of that row there. In the middle of this row here, try and get 2 bits of the stitch if you can. I'll use my nail to bring it back over, there we go. There we are, and then in the final one, I'm going to try and go through here so I can get a more of a nice neat finish. Where our original slip knot was, it's always a bit tight, there we go. And just pull through, and we should have a nice stitch count of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, because that loop never counts. So now that we've done that row 4, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to work back across here for rows 5 and 6. So we've chained 1, so we're going to go insert our hook under that first stitch, pull through, and literally do 9 double crochets along this row. So this is row number 5. Final one there. There we go. Just running out of wool, 1 second. There we go, get a bit more out. So that's the end of row 5. We're simply going to chain 1 and repeat that for row 6. So just insert your hook under that first stitch and do a double crochet into each of the double crochets across for row 6. It's quite a small stitch, the double crochet, but it definitely is very useful when creating quite a firm fabric as well. There we go. So that's row 6 done. And going into row 7, we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to do a double crochet 2 together into the first 2 stitches. So we're going to reduce these 2 stitches into 1. So insert our hook, pull a loop up, insert your hook into the next stitch along, yarn over, bring that loop up. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and that reduces that stitch count by 1. We then double crochet into the next 3 stitches, number 2 and number 3, and that leaves us with 2 stitches remaining. And again, we're going to do a double crochet 2 together to decrease by another stitch. So we're going to bring that loop back up and insert it into that last stitch on the row, bring a 3rd loop up and pull through all 3. And that's taken our stitch count down from 7 down to 5. We're going to yarn over and chain 1, and rows 8 is going to just be simply double crochet into each stitch along or across. 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1. Row 9 is exactly the same as row 8, so we're just going to double crochet into each stitch along. Number 4 and number 5. She says, there you go. There you go, it's number 5 done. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And again, we're going to decrease in this row. So we're going to take these decrease, so 2 double crochet 2 together in these first 2 stitches. So insert the hook, yarn over to bring a loop up, insert the hook into the second stitch of the row, yarn over, bring that third loop up, yarn over and pull through all 3. Just do 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to decrease these last 2 stitches as well. So yarn over, bring that first loop back up, straight into the last stitch of the row, yarn over, bring your third loop up and pull through, and there we are, we're down from 5 to 3. Chain 1 as we go into row number 11 already. Wow, see, super quick on the little small numbers of stitches. And we're simply just going to double crochet into each stitch across. So just 3 double crochets on row 11. Now for the 3 to 6 month, this is actually it. We're done for this side of the headband. So we're just going to simply fasten off. If you're doing a slightly larger size, so the 6 to 12 months, you do need to do another couple of rows just to give you some extra length on that side. So I've just done a quick chain 1, and I'm going to probably leave about 10 inches or so to sew up afterwards. So just cut that end there and bring that through. Gives us a nice tight knot to finish that off. So that's that side done. Already see it starting to take shape. What we're going to do is reattach the yarn down here so we can add the same edging as we have on this end down here as well. So we're going to reattach the yarn in the corner here. So it's going to be the second chain from the very start. So just pop your hook through, just like that, making sure you've got a bit underneath as well. And you've got your 2 loops on there. Simply put your yarn over your hook and grasp both ends and just bring it through. And we're going to do a slip. So we're just literally going to chain 1. And as we pull that tail yarn, that chain disappears, okay? So it's called a slip stitch to join. So we're just going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 7 double crochets all along. So go back into where you slip stitch. I'm just going to put my tail end over my hook to help secure it and just pinch it where my work is. Yarn over to bring that loop through, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So then we're going to work our second double crochet just in here. I'm going to try and get 2 loops of my stitch. Just encourage it over there. Put my tail yarn over the front again, just so it stays secure, and pull through. Excuse me, got a tickle. And then we're going to work into the row here, so just pop your hook through. Again, my tail yarn is just there, just to keep that secure where it was joined. In the middle of this stitch here, we're going to do another double crochet, exactly the same as we did on the other side, basically. Extra strand, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So into this one here. Number 6 goes here. There we go. And then finally, need to make sure we've stretched this corner out so we're going into the right stitch. And I pull that through, and it squares up the end as well for us, okay? So that is row 4 again. So we're going to just chain 1 and turn to do 7 double crochets along this row number 4. That's number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Lovely. That's row number 5. Row number 6 is exactly the same as row number 5. So just 7 double crochet across. We're going into row number 7, so we're going to decrease on this row. So these first 2 stitches are going to go into 1. So we insert the hook, pull that loop up, straight into that second stitch, pull that loop up, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. We're then going to do 3 double crochets across the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to decrease into those last 2 stitches as well. So this row will have been decreased by 2. So insert our hook, pull a loop up, insert our hook, oh, missed one, insert our hook, pull a 3rd loop up, then yarn over and pull through all 3. So we've gone from 7 down to 5 stitches on this row. Chain 1. Rows 8 and 9 are simply double crochet into each stitch across. Chain 1 and turn, so do another 5 double crochets for row 9. There we are. So with row 9 done, we're going to do our final decrease, so chain 1 to turn, and we're going to go straight into those first 2 stitches. We get our 3 loops, pull through all 3, double crochet in that middle stitch, and then we're going to decrease in these final 2 stitches. To take us back down to 3. Chain 1, and we're going to do our final row for this size, remembering that the 3 to 6 month has a couple more rows after this one. So that's our 3 double crochets in each stitch across. Again, we're going to fasten off now, just by doing a chain 1 and then leaving a small length to weave in the ends after we've sewn up. Give it a quick snip and just pull that up. Give it a little tighten, there we are. So we've got all these ends we need to get woven in. So once they're all woven in, we're going to sew this up with our long tail end. So leave that one out and weave all the others in, and then we're going to sew them up. So I've just threaded my needle with the the tail yarn there. I just wanted to kind of remind you why we bothered to do working into that kind of bump in the chain, because it means that both the edges are the same. They're both showing a nice edge, so obviously because they are exposed, it's worth making that look pretty. So with the wrong side showing, so in this case the wrong side is the one that doesn't look as pretty. Easiest way of remembering it. Put your 2 edges together. In the adult sizes and the slightly larger child sizes, I do recommend that you use a hair bobble just to kind of ease the pressure on the head as well, but these are nice and loose for the children's sizes. What we're going to do is literally match up the edges, and we're going to do a whip stitch. So you simply just go through 1 stitch and straight through the other side as well, and then just bring it together, and then you're going to go back over the same way again. So into 1 stitch, find the corresponding stitch and just push it through. And as you tighten up, you can see that it kind of brings it all together and does it nice and tightly. So through 1 stitch, through the next stitch, and just pull tightly. I'm going to also sew the edges as well, just to be extra secure, because I don't want anything bad to happen. There we go. It's a nice small neat join, and then I'm just going to, I wouldn't normally put a knot in any of my projects, but I am going to in this case because I don't want this to come undone in any way. So I've simply just gone through 1 stitch and just pulled it tight, and then I'm going to weave this end in just along where we've been sewing up these edges. So we just need to go in and under a few stitches 3 times. That's 1, 2, and then a number 3 as well, just so we don't ever see these ends ever again. It's nice to say goodbye to them, isn't it? There we go. Taking my needle off, I'm just going to snip this bit here with my scissors, and we have completed a lovely little headband for someone aged 3 to 6 months. How cute is that? So if you do want to check out my pattern for the slightly larger sizes and the adult sizes, it's available on my Etsy shop for you. If you head on over to Cosy Rosie UK, there's an Etsy shop that's titled that, or it's available. I'll pop a link below as well if I can, which would be nice for you to go and pick up those bigger sizes. It can be worn either way. It almost looks like a little bow, doesn't it? But it's very, very cute. I hope you like it, and I hope that you can tag me in your photos of your completed all meshed up summer headbands. Thank you very much.